tonight. It's about mainly the diary from Anna, who was a McElhone. Did I say that right? McElhone, okay. Who was one of the sisters, and her other sister was Ida. And these two sisters married two brothers, one Simon Dubois and the other was God Dubois. So it was a very good combination there. And of course, we are so thrilled to have descendants from this family here tonight, particularly Mary Boys Wright. And on another side of the family, we have Susan Lent in the background here, who has brought some things along too. And I believe we have other Dubois members here. Would you please put your hands up or stand up, who are Dubois? And just introduce yourselves.
Warren.
Warren. Sandy, and
my father-in-law, mother was a Dubois.
yes, so they're very well represented tonight. I just want to say briefly a little bit about Galeville, where they basically lived. When in the 1880s, the Galeville was a very prominent little town that had a lot of things going for it. It had the covered bridge. And in the back there, I've written out a list of all the people who lived there and all the things that were in the little village there, like the post office, the school, there was a church. It was a very active place. And then when the railroad came to Walkill, things changed, and a lot of these places, it became a little desolate. So actually what I'm going to do now is to pass this over to, well, before I do, I want to say that Anna and Simon were mainly in Galeville in the 1880s, as I said. But you have to realize that at that time there were no cars. All their transportation was by sleigh in the winter or by horse and buggy and so on. And they had one of the worst winters, which Mary will tell you about. So you can't pull up the road, you can't say, plough my road. You know, I mean, it was one of those things. They had a very bad winter, which we all can appreciate, having gone through that just recently. And they also had very high floods at one time, which covered the little island in the river where they used to grow product. So they had a hard time with that. But then you have to realize that they all lived in the 1900s too. They didn't die until 1922, in the 30s and 50s. So they then had cars, so things did change dramatically for them too. So you get two sides of the pictures there. I just want you to realize the hardships they went through in the 80s, and then things got a little bit better as, into the 1900s. And they represented their communities by holding various positions in the community, in the church, and fire engines, and various things like that. Now Mary had a lot of little tales to tell. Some of these articles were bought from her auction. They're authentic. This was her, how many greats? Great-grandmother? Three greats. Okay. And Susan Lent is on the other side of the family, which includes the squires and the church. So, and this representative of little things up on the table there, which she will tell you about, or you can read about them too. So, Mary, I'm going to turn this over to you. The articles were from the auction, they're authentic, and she has a lot of stories to tell us. So, do you want this one? No.
Yep, absolutely.